But yeah, you texted me the other day, asked me if I was watching any of the College World Series, and of course I was not.
Yeah.
Were you checking that out?
Yes, of course, absolutely. I mean, you know, we had to do, the basketball first. So now we're doing some baseball,
Yep.
and College World Series just happened. It just finished last night, and I don't know if you watched any of the championship series with LSU in Florida.
Nope. But I saw the scores. I saw some pretty
Oh
lopsided
my
scores.
Yeah, yeah, it was insane. I mean, the first game went into extras. LSU ended up pulling it out. I think it was like 4-3, but it was a really good game. And then Florida game two just came out and just smacked it. I mean, they were just on it the whole time. And I think that is what kind of helped LSU almost for game three, is because I mean they were getting beat pretty quick, and they just didn't use all of their pitching like
Yeah.
Florida did. And um so yeah, LSU came out that third game and just smacked it the same as Florida did the night before. It was crazy. So yeah, the second game was like 24-4.
Yeah, I
Florida
saw
won.
that.
And then last night's game was, I think LSU won, was it 18-5 or something like that? I mean, it was crazy, crazy.
Wild. And then I also saw like almost the same night Florida put up 20 something. The Angels put up like 24 or 25 or whatever it
Yep,
was.
they put up 25 in the first four innings.
That's insane.
Yeah,
How does that even happen?
I don't know. I mean, it was in Colorado too, so elevation, the over there is a little different, but
Yeah, the ball
still, I mean that.
flies there.
No, it does. But
Yeah.
I mean, even still, that's 25 runs in four innings. That's insane,
Yeah,
insane.
it is. So yeah, I didn't watch much of it. But that's just kind of how I am with baseball. Just I don't know what it is, man. I when I was growing up, I was a huge fan. I watched the Brewers all the time, but I think that was also just because I had less going on. So I could just turn on the game at night, tune in. Um, but yeah, over the years, I just almost completely lost interest in baseball. I know it's a little different for you though. You were always super
Mhm.
passionate about it. So how do you feel now?
Yeah, I think watching baseball now is a little different for me, I guess. Yeah, playing it in college and um, all of that, I feel like I have a different perspective, I guess, of baseball, and um, I don't watch it a lot now like I did before, like when we were growing up. But I still, uh, come in and chime in from time to time and watch a game. But yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a consistent fan watching it every night like some of those Boston Red Sox and New York Yankee fans out there.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, I mean, College World Series, when that comes around, that's a big thing for me to watch. And I felt like overall this College World Series was really cool. I was really pulling for Oral Roberts, but unfortunately they didn't make it. Um, but now they were a pretty funny team. They had a good amount of seniors this year, and I don't know if you saw, but anytime one of their players got on base, their first base coach would give them gummy worms to eat.
Oh, I did see that on Twitter.
That was pretty. I was like, at first, I thought it was a little goofy, but I'm like, okay, I'll ride the wave. I'll ride the wave. But
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's exactly the point here. Baseball's so boring that the first base coach has to give out gummy worms just to make it interesting.
no, no, no,
Oh
nope. I
man.
don't get bored at a baseball game. Nope,
Oh
nope.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure a lot of our friends from growing up, if any coaches are listening to this, they're gonna hate me. They're gonna but yeah, I
hmm
just completely lost interest in baseball. It's just I just can't. I can't sit through a whole game, number one. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. And like you nowadays with Twitter, you get all the good parts just posted on Twitter. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I see how that would be different. Like I would never say that about basketball, whereas you maybe could. I'm just not as passionate about baseball. But
Mm.
yeah, one thing that was interesting, I was listening to this podcast. I think it was during winter, so baseball wasn't happening. But it was Theo Epstein, and he's not a general manager anymore, I don't believe. I think he's like working for the league, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
in the league office.
Yeah. So he was talking about exactly what I'm saying, basically, like how popularity has decreased over the years, and there's a lot of things that they wanted to change just to try and get viewership up again, increase the popularity of the sport. And he talked about um, all the rule changes that they ended up implementing, like the pitch clock. They reduced the shifts, right? You're not allowed to shift
No
anymore.
shifts. No
Yeah.
shifts. Yep.
Yep. Added the DH to the NL. Like
Hmm.
a lot of these rules to try and improve the game for exactly the reason that I said. Like a lot of younger people just aren't as interested anymore. And so they wanted to implement all these rules to try and get that popularity back up. And I don't know. I was wondering if it was going to change anything for me. I was like, oh, maybe the games will go a little quicker. Maybe I'll tune in a little more. I have not. I have not tuned into a single baseball game. But
Yeah.
for you, has it changed your experience at all?
Um, Honestly, it just kind of, I wouldn't say it makes it more annoying to watch, but like I get the shift, especially for me being a former hitter and having to deal with shifts all the time. I'm glad that that's out of there because I mean it'll raise the batting average for everyone substantially.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that. The pitch clock though is very frustrating, and I get why they're doing it, but the way that it's timed out, and even on opening day, seeing uh, Devers from Boston, he struck out because he didn't get set, and it didn't make any sense. And I know that they're going to try it out and they're going to touch some things up eventually, but um, I don't get the pitch
Yeah.
clock, and especially I don't remember what the stat was, like the first month um, into this MLB season, but I feel like it was only like a 10 or 15 minute difference in games with the pitch clock. And it's just like, you might as well, it's already 3 hours long, anyways. You might as well just stay.
But that's
And
the thing. It actually did change quite a bit. So from 2 years ago, 2021,
yeah.
it was the longest game time in MLB history. The average game took 3 hours and 11 minutes. And
Mhm.
then this year, after they implemented these rules, the last article I could find was May 5th, so a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much the beginning of the season. So it's a smaller sample size, but the average time of a game was 2 hours 38 minutes. So they took off more than a half an hour of the game, and that is a big difference for a viewer because anything over 3 hours, especially when there's not a lot of action happening, is just too long. Even football can be
Mm.
that way. There's a lot of breaks. Like none of these sports should be going 3 hours, but uh, the divide is for a player. These rules are weird. Like I remember growing up as a hitter, I would not want to just have to stand in the batter's box. I mean, all of us, every pitch, we'd step out, do a practice swing, step back in. So that would be huge. That would be like a huge
Hmm.
difference. It'd take a while to get used to staying in the batter's box, not really having that time to adjust. But totally get it as a fan of the game, as a viewer of the
Hmm.
game. They had to do it because I could not stand. watching a pitcher throw over to first base 100 times, or a batter step out and readjust his batting gloves and grab his crotch a little bit and step back in, then call time. Like, for the casual viewer, baseball was just a terrible product. So I totally get what you're saying. As a
Yeah.
player, that makes total sense. But as a viewer, I think these rules were a good decision. But we'll see how it plays out, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
I know you're
I
I know
mean,
you're a little hesitant, but
I
you
know
played a lot more than I did, so it's different.
yeah, no, for sure. I think the most exciting rule that I was excited about was them changing the bases and making those bigger for
Yeah,
safety reasons. I thought that was
long
huge.
long overdue. Yeah,
Hmm.
just makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not a
The
fan.
problem,
Just not a fan.
listening to Epstein, I should go find that podcast and send it to you. But listening
Yeah,
to him, it just made things make so much more sense. Like, all the things that
sure.
they're trying to do is trying to enhance the product, and they're trying to get the
Hmm.
players to hit the ball more. They want the ball in play more. They don't
Right.
want strikeouts. They don't want, like, I was looking at batting averages. The Brewers had like one guy over 300, and it was because he's barely played any games. But
Hmm.
um, they just, Theo Epstein, he was saying, he's just like, we really want to get the ball in play more, have less
Yeah.
strikeouts, less time wasted on pickoff attempts or shifts or
Hmm.
mound visits, all the
Yep.
all the
Yep.
pitching changes. So I get what they're doing. It might take a while to work out the kinks, though, for sure.
Yeah. No. And I mean, like, I just feel like, I mean, yes, the pitch clock has helped for sure. I just feel like at the same time, but right before it was starting to happen, I feel like a lot of pitchers have shortened up their time and their seconds per pitch before. Like, I don't think anyone was taking advantage of it like Josh Beckett did way back when he was taking almost 2 minutes per pitch to throw a ball.
Yeah.
I feel like it hasn't been in the set of the pitch clock where you only have 20 to 30 seconds to throw a
Yeah.
pitch, but I don't know.
Did you see that video? It was all over the internet. It had two videos side by side. I can't remember the pitchers though. It was during one pitcher during the playoffs, I believe, like a year or two ago. And
Mm-hmm.
in the time that he threw one pitch, the video next to it completed a whole inning. It was insane.
Yeah.
Like live time. And it's because he threw a pitch, and then there was a bunch of crap going on in the middle. Like, there was a mound visit. They had, I think there were some pickoff attempts, batter calling time, pitcher stepping off, like all this stuff. And the pitcher on the right pitched a whole inning in the time that the other guy pitched one pitch. It was crazy.
That is pretty crazy. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, um, I feel like a lot of people are in the same boat as me too. And it's leading to people not even recognizing that we might have the greatest baseball player of all time playing right now, Shohei Ohtani. Like,
Oh yeah.
this dude is incredible, and you don't even really hear
Yes.
about him.
Well, I mean, I hear about him all the time, but I also have had the notifications going and all that.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. I mean, I'm really nervous to see how this offseason goes because he'll be a free agent after this year. I really hope he doesn't go to the Dodgers, but I think that's the front runner. I just can't see him without Trout. And I mean, they've been really close with each other even since he came in, and it was really cool seeing, like, I don't know if you watched any of the World Baseball Classic before, the MLB season started. But they ended up facing off against each other in the championship game, the last out.
Yep.
And Ohtani was just humming. He did
Dude.
just 101. And
Yeah, so
Trout was trying. Trout was trying to hit it out.
yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Shohei Ohtani, he is a pitcher and a hitter. Most pitchers in the NBA or in the NBA, the MLB, they're not hitters. Ohtani's playing every day. And not only is he playing every day, he is dominating. So some stats for you. Right now, it's June 27th. He is the leader in home runs with 26, the leader in RBIs, 62, and he's 10th in batting average at 297, 7th in hits. And then on top of that, so he's just like the best hitter in the league. On top of that, as a pitcher, he's 6-3. He's got a 3.13 ERA, and he's 4th in strikeouts. This dude is incredible.
Oh, he's no joke. I mean, to talk about like a player that you have to, like, even if you're not a fan of baseball, like just to buy a ticket to watch a guy play, like there isn't very many people out there to do that with. But Shohei Ohtani is definitely one of those guys where it's like, if he's in your town, you got to watch him just to say that you've seen him in person. I mean, it's insane. I mean, and the dude's 6'6". I mean, he's huge. He's built like a brick house. I mean, and the dude is, I mean, he's fast on the bases. Fast. It's insane. I mean, just all around.
I think he has 10 stolen bases too, which is no joke, like at this point in the season. But he's already won one MVP, 2021. He's among the leaders right now. We'll see how the rest of the season goes, but he could very well win again this year. And if he keeps up what he's doing pitching-wise, he'll be in the Cy Young conversation too. Like, that would be just completely insane to win MVP and Cy Young in the same season. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to know how much money he's going to be getting this.
it's gonna be ridiculous.
Because Trout signed his contract way back when for over 400. I think it was like 460 mil for 13 or 14 years. Like, I don't even know what Ohtani's going to get. And I know like the Dodgers are the front runner. I know, like, I've heard the Cubs too. I don't think Chicago is going to end up with them. I think that's a long shot that he goes to Chicago, but
they don't deserve him.
I don't. I mean, I don't see it there, and I really hope. I mean, I hope the Angels pick it up and play really well this year, so they don't lose them. But
yeah, that's the thing, man. The Angels have, like, we didn't even mention Mike. Well, we mentioned Mike Trout. Like, he was the face of the MLB, and then Ohtani comes in, and they're on the same team, the two best players in the league, and yet the Angels haven't been able to figure it out, haven't been able to get to the playoffs. Like, I really hope this year they do make it and make a run, because I would love Shohei and Trout to stay there. I hate when they leave for bigger markets. Like, if he ends up on the Dodgers, it's just another reason for me to never watch baseball. Like, I love the dude, but don't go to another big market team. But yeah, so that's why I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for the Angels. Hopefully he can stay there.
The Angels should be. They should be up there. Like, they are a big market. They're in Anaheim. You know.
A big market.
For them. I hope. I'm hoping that they do well.
Yeah, they're just stuck in the shadow of the Dodgers, but I definitely hope they can make a run this year.
But yeah, no, like you said, I mean, Trout has been the face of the MLB, and Shohei Ohtani's been the face of the world. And I mean, they're 1 and 2 in the major leagues. They're the two best players in the league, and the Angels still can't get to the playoffs. I think Trout has only been to the playoffs one time and played 3 games, and they lost. They got swept. And
Yeah.
that's the only time he's been. So I
And
really
growing
hope they do well.
and like growing up, I remember you especially were like all in on Mike Trout. And
Mm-hmm.
here we are 10 years later or whatever it's been, and he's still only been in 3 playoff games. Like, that sucks. But
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was glued to the TV when Mike Trout and Bryce Harper played in their first All-Star game in Kansas City. I was glued in. I was like, oh, this is going to be so exciting,
yeah.
and it was. But oh man, I
Yeah.
feel for the Angels.
So all that stuff I said about baseball's boring and all this crap, we also just gave a huge endorsement for the MLB by talking about
Yes,
Shohei and Mike Trout. Like, that, they're must see TV. So at least they got
yes.
that going
Go
for them
to
for
a
sure.
game. If the Angels are in town, go watch Shohei Ohtani. Go watch
Yeah,
him.
he's unbelievable.